Hello and welcome to Sewist Online Pattern Design software channel. In the previous lessons we learned to place points on the screen, using the functions point, apply, meet, intercept, and compass. We also learned how to draft lines, arcs and curves, and how to refer to their properties. In this lesson we talk about circles. The minimal syntax of the function is as follows. The word circle, brackets open, center point, radius, brackets close. This syntax lets you draft a full circle. I first created point P1, and then told the software to draft a circle around this point, with radius of 40 centimeters. It's the outer circle in this draft. For the next circle, I set radius to 20 centimeters. I mentioned the same center point. It is the inner circle in this draft. I didn't mention specific names for these two circles, so the software has generated them automatically. For circles, automatic naming works as follows: R, name of the center point. For example, the name of this circle is R, P1. This is very simple to use, but poses a little problem. Our next circle also has its center at the point P1. So it will have exactly the same name, R, P1. If you refer to RP1 later in the code, you will be dealing with the second circle, and you can no longer access the first one. For example, let's print the length of RP1 in console. See? It is the length of the second circle, not the first one. So remember to give different names to circles with the center at the same point. This function also lets you draft segments of a circle. To draft a segment of a circle, mention the desired angles of the chords at the beginning and at the end of the segment. I applied some distance to the side, and placed a new point, P2. I then drafted several segments of circles around P2, and gave a specific name to each segment. Here's the first one. We can see its name, Circle 1, and some info about it in the popover window. The segment of a circle is highlighted in yellow. Its first point is highlighted in violet, and its last point is highlighted in orange. So what are chords, and what do their angles stand for? Chords are cutting a segment out of a circle. Their angles are calculated from the center point here. The first chord angle defines where the segment starts, and the second one defines where it ends. A circle is always drawn clockwise. The chord's angles are used once, when a circle, or a segment of a circle is created. The angles, that you refer to using properties point A1 and point A2, will be different. A1 and A2 defines where to the path departs, and at what angle it arrives at the end point. For example, this segment departs downwards, at 90 degrees, and it looks to the right at the end point, at 0 degrees. You can use math formulas for angles. The next segment of a circle is drafted from 45 to 135 degrees. You can also use negative values for angles. It will not affect the direction of a segment, it will still go clockwise. Circle 4 goes from 225 degrees to -45, or 315 degrees. Circle 5 goes from -90 to +90, also clockwise, and passes 0 on its way. You may draft whatever segment of a circle, a third, a quarter, a half, or 7/8, as in the case of Circle 6. It will go clockwise for as long as you tell it to. Just as line, arc and curve, a circle has properties, and you can refer to them in your code. I shall connect the second point of Circle 2 and the first point of Circle 3 with a line. I refer to properties point P1 and point P2 of these objects. I double-click the objects to insert their names in my code. Here's the line we drafted. The angles are usually used when you would like to create a smooth transition from one object to another. Let's draw a line that would be nicely connected to circle 4. I first apply point P3 from the first point of circle 4. Let's use the length of this circle as the distance between its first point and point P3 that we are going to create. To provide for a really smooth transition, I refer to the angle of circle 4 at the first point and add 180 degrees to it. Looks good. Let's draft a line here. You can see how smoothly it is connected to curve 4. Other properties of circles are as follows. Point x1 is the x-coordinate of the first point, and point y1 is the y-coordinate of the first point. Point x2 is the x-coordinate of the second point, and point y2 is the y-coordinate of the second point. And then there is also delta x and delta y, the difference of x or y coordinates, correspondingly, of the endpoints of the circle. Always a positive value. You don't have to memorize it all now. The additional properties are used rarely in drafting. In most cases you will need the main ones, the length, the points, and the angles. I hope you enjoyed this short video about Sewist Online Pattern Making software. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask them in comments to this video, or in our forum at www.sewist.com. We also encourage you to follow us on YouTube, Instagram and Facebook. Happy sewing!